amigos, and welcome to the Portuguese Collective. This is what I want to say is a rebirth rather than a rebrand. There's been quite a bit of change and direction in the podcast because now we are the Portuguese Collective podcast, formerly known as the New Friends Podcast. But I am still your host, Silvia Manuela, and I'm still giving you all of the novidades of the community, and I'm sharing my experience, my influences, my friends, new friends with you. Thank you for all of the new followers and listeners that have recently joined. There's been such an influx of you, and welcome. Welcome to this tornado of Portuguese love that I give to the community. The rebrand was something I think that needed to happen. I was craving a lot of growth, and I'm a sucker for turning the page and starting a new chapter and finding a new purpose. So in the last few months, honestly, this probably started in December. I was just going through a lot of highs and lows, and I really wanted to focus on the band. I sing for a band called ZODIAC, and I was going to have my first ever performance with them, which was on New Year's Eve, which was amazing. Thank you all for coming. It was a sold out 500 plus show. And I just really wanted to put my focus towards that. And I stepped away from the Palma magazine for a little bit. And throughout that time, I just had so many gut feelings and instincts and thoughts about how I wanted to embrace and be impactful to the community more than what I was already doing. I just felt so dull. I needed a little bit of a spark. And I felt like I was faced with a lot of limitations, and it was causing a lot of creative blocks for me. And I'm the type of person that really is big on vibes, and I had to filter and figure out what was just sitting so awful with me and not allowing me to grow. With that being said, I decided to part ways with Palma Media. And as I am so grateful for the opportunities that were given my way because of the company, I realized that I was hiding behind a company name because I was too insecure to believe that the community would support Silvia Manuela. I was too insecure to believe that without a big company name that no one would believe my mission. And thankfully to all of the listeners, especially my day one listeners, I realized that I can stand on my own. And I decided that I wanted to create my own path and stay in my own lane. And I didn't at the time think of the collective, but I just knew that I needed to kind of separate myself. So in turn doing that, I stepped away from Palma, and I brought, because I was the only one working on the magazine, I wanted to keep that aspect of it, and I needed to find a anchor for it. So that is when the Portuguese Collective came about. It took so long for me to figure out the name of this new venture of mine, and I am obsessed with the name because it speaks to so many of us. It speaks to all of us. It's such a bigger thing that I could ever imagine, and I just know it's going to exponentially because the fire that I feel that comes with it. So I just really want to thank the day one New Friends podcast listeners that have seen me grow, evolve, expand. And if you've been listening from the beginning, I can't believe I'm here. I was in such a dark space, and you guys, if you listen from the beginning, you see me and the rebirth of me. I am in such a better place, and I feel like I know my worth. I know what I'm capable of, and I think I am the only one in the way of that. So I'm trying to find the beauty in a lot of bad, and know that without me even doing anything with Palma Media, I wouldn't have found my love for the broadcast world to the extent that I did. As much as I knew I loved podcasting already, because I had the podcast for like a year before I even started with Palma, I knew I loved that aspect of it, but I was able to get out there on a mic in front of you guys. And that's what I didn't realize I loved so much. So hosting kind of just became this other layer that I was like, I really like being out here with the community. So you'll see a lot more of that happening. The collective is truly an umbrella of so much. There's so much to come. Some I can say, some is so in the workings and it's fresh. And I have help. I have a team that is helping me grow. And I'm so excited to truly align myself with the doers, with the creators, with the innovators. I really needed to be around people that were smarter than me, that were more, maybe even active than me in the community. I have recently been invited to something that I just never in my wildest dreams that I ever think that I would be invited to. So with closed doors, so many have opened and the umbrella just like opened up all the way. I'm so excited for you guys to feel and be on this next path and next journey with me. So what is the Portuguese Collective? It's more than a podcast. It's more than a magazine. It's a movement. It's a cultural hub of old generation and new generation. It's where we uplift the stories of Portuguese Americans and Portuguese Canadians, the funny ones, the quiet ones, the loud ones, and sometimes just the real things. What you're going to see is new podcast episodes that are beyond surface level conversations. And of course, a quarterly magazine that is launching in August featuring all of your favorite and maybe even new people, artists, comedians, chefs, businesses, events, nice to knows. All of the magazine submissions and entries are all the same. It's still by us, for us formula. So please send your submissions to info@theportuguesecollective.com email. That is the new email. I will be blowing that up as well. The magazine is launching in August. It's going to be full of that Portuguese flavor with English accessibility. So this is an English publication because we are trying to make sure that the next generation stay involved. And if they can't understand what we're saying, how are they going to be involved? You'll be seeing me still at events like how you saw me at Rainhas of Comedy. You'll be seeing me at Battle of the Bifunish in August. So you'll still get access to all of the events and we'll still be right in the heart, in the middle of all of the fun for those events. Be on the lookout for lives and live streams because that is the intention of the collective. We are going full throttle. There's another layer. The collective is also offering services, marketing, logo enhancements, commercials, sponsorships, and ads. For the magazine, I want to remind you guys that community events are published at no cost. If you have a festa that you would like submitted in the magazine, send it to info@theportuguesecollective.com and at no cost it will be submitted. Ads and for businesses, there is a cost for that, and you can find that also on theportuguesecollective.com. And logo enhancements, say you really need to update your website or your logo, the Portuguese Collective can help you with that as well. Festa flyers, I know I joke about it, but let me help you with your Festa flyers. They are very blurry, and if I can say anything, less is more. I rather you create a whole other flyer to back up the first flyer. Really, that first flyer for your Festa needs to be what the festa is, the address, the time, and the entertainment. And then you do a whole other flyer of schedule. The landscape flyers just do not work out. I can sit down with some of you and give you guys a little class on how to make and benefit on creating those festa flyers, or I can just make them for you. I want to talk a little bit more about the podcast. I have got some amazing guests lined up, and I am just really just getting started in firing this thing back up. I feel like I have to apologize to some of you because I've lacked so much in episodes and I really put the podcast to the side. And I really should have made that my first priority like I did from the beginning. And I think it's just time for me to get really back into firing up the community. I feel like that's the biggest impact that I have. And I really want this to be a place for the people that never ever saw themselves in magazines, the ones that never saw themselves behind a mic, the people that are writing in secret. I want your articles. I want your stories. I want the quiet ones to be loud. And I can help with that. I always say there's entertainers that are the loud ones, the bands, the musicians, the comedians. And then there's the quiet ones that are creators that are writing wonderful children's books and memoirs and it's just there's so many quiet creators that truly need to be featured and shown, and that is where the magazine truly thrives. The magazine is officially open for sponsorships, so if you want to see your business on the podcast, if you want to see me do any taste testing or anything like that, we can add that into our podcast episodes. I'm curating commercials for the podcast episodes. I know some of you have heard the Slow to V ones, but this is a collective. This is all of us. Let me know if you see someone or something that you think is so cool, amazing, someone that's doing something different. I love hearing about that. I want to highlight that. So don't hesitate to reach out. I am your amiga. I'm only not your amiga if you're mal disposto and just not a good person, right? I pride myself in aligning myself with good people. And I think that that's my path. My path is to be positive. My path is to be positive and impactful. And it's not to judge or be malicious or vindictive or try to get a coin out of the community. Been doing this for years and I haven't made much from it. And I truly do it from my heart. Help is always nice, as there's always back end costs. But I'm going to continue this with or without sponsors. And I think that's where I needed to take full control of things. Is if I'm going to invest in something, it needed to be my own, and I needed to have the full creative control and access. I hope that you all enjoy this fresh new look and brand, and I hope that you feel part of it. I hope that you understand what I'm trying to do, and let me know if you want to get involved, because I always need help. If you see something that should be in the magazine, please send it my way. I love you all. Thank you for continuing this journey with me. It's been so amazing. I've had so many great opportunities and I've made so many good friends, and I just feel really lucky to sit in this seat, and I feel even more blessed that the Portuguese community is supporting me on it, because you guys are a tough crowd. And I know, because I'm tough myself, and I feel accepted. And I have to say, I did not expect so many strangers to be on board. And I expected more people that have known me my whole life to be on board. It's pretty incredible to see the shift in the community from a podcast and a magazine. The next few guests are some female powerhouses who enjoy and connect. And just like I always say with the magazine, this is for you guys to connect with the people that I am sharing with you. It's for you to connect with them on social media, for you to hire them at your events, for you to get them to play at your next festa. I want people to know of these other creators so that you can enhance your own festas and bring more vibrance to your events. You know, just having someone like AV Jewelries, Aurora Vaz, with her Portuguese jewelry at your event could be a huge hit. And having Slow to V pour free tastings of aguardente, like, let's elevate these events. Let's bring in these creators that are writing books and just give them a booth at your event. Because why? Because it helps people be engaged. It keeps people at your events for longer. It keeps them eating food, keeps them drinking. Have live streams. It does not take away from people being at your festa. If anything, it brings outsiders in. Oh, guess what? Turlock does that festa every year. Remember when they do a talent show on Friday night with the local talent? Like, those are things that we need to be talking about. Those are things that we need to be sharing. Portuguese Heritage Nights, anything that we can do, people that are selling merch, Portucali, Vienna accessories, Maven and Me, the Portuguese kids, Taylor Amarant, Mike Rita, like all of these people need our help and support, and they have thrived with it. So continue it. Millennial generation, I'm talking to you. It is up to us to keep your kids in the next generation involved, because we are the last with Portuguese immigrant parents with that true tried and tradition in our hearts and souls. It is up to us to keep it going. It is up to us to keep going to the festas. It is up to us to keep buying from Shop Portuguese and from our local Portuguese markets. It is up to us to change the rhetoric of our culture dying into our culture is thriving. Amigos, primos, família, vamos lá. Força e viva Portugal. Beijinhos, and until the next episode. And thank you for being part of this. And don't forget, you are part of the collective, and don't let anyone tell you different. Beijinhos, beijinhos.